On a 20th anniversary trip, let us wish some good wishes there. But also, what's significant, I think, that when a country is in financial difficulty, there's no doubt at all that services are being stretched. You also look to maximise your assets, and our asset is the royal family and the trips at the moment. I mean, it's not just Italy, which is a very good example, because we've had France and Germany, and this, in fact, post-Brexit is part and parcel of soft power. Soft power is very significant, because if you look at the situation with Donald Trump, I mean, there is the most predictable character perhaps in modern times, you could almost say. And one thing he is consistent on, and that is a fondness for the royal family. And Prime Minister,
Are you tired of working hard to fund someone else's luxury? If so, you're not alone. As we speak, King Charles and Queen Camilla are living it up in Italy on a state visit that's draining the public purse. And it's not just any purse. It's the one that you and I fill with our hard-earned money. This is not just another vacation, it's a taxpayer-funded extravaganza. The sovereign grant, that's the money that covers the royal family's official duties, has seen a staggering increase. It's gone from £86.3 million to a jaw-dropping £132 million. Yes, you heard that right. That's a leap of £45.7 million. And this isn't happening in a time of prosperity and abundance. Oh no, this is happening when ordinary people are making the heartbreaking choice between heating their homes and putting food on the table. Across the United Kingdom, people are working 2, sometimes 3 jobs, just to keep their heads above water. They're skipping meals, standing in line at food banks, all while sinking deeper into a sea of debt. Yet in this bleak landscape, their taxes are being used to fund luxury travel, opulent 5-star hotels, and lavish banquets for the privileged few. This isn't just about one trip. It's about a system that seems to cater to the whims of the privileged, while the rest are left to fend for themselves. But it gets worse. This same royal family denied Prince Harry security even when he offered to pay for it himself. A son of the king, a veteran, a public figure at risk, denied protection. Yet when it's time for Charles and Camilla to jet off on another luxury holiday disguised as diplomacy, the public is expected to foot the bill without so much as a whisper of protest. So, while ordinary people struggle with bills, their taxes fund royal extravagance. Is it time we question this? Stay tuned as we delve deeper into this issue in the next scene. In contrast to royal luxury, let's look at the reality of everyday life for ordinary citizens. While the royal family is jet-setting to Italy, many people across the United Kingdom are working 2, sometimes 3 jobs just to keep the lights on. The struggle is real, and it's happening every day. Imagine waking up at the crack of dawn, rushing off to your first job, barely having time for a lunch break before you're off to your second job. Exhausted, you return home late in the evening, only to face the same routine the next day. All this, and yet the ends barely meet. Then there are the meals, or rather the lack of them. For many, skipping meals has become the norm, not out of choice but out of necessity. The rising cost of living coupled with stagnant wages means that putting food on the table has become a struggle for many families. And when the cupboards are bare, they find themselves queuing at food banks, a stark reminder of the widening gap between the haves and the have-nots. It's a sobering thought that in one of the world's wealthiest nations, people are relying on food banks to feed their families. But the hardships don't end there. Many are drowning in debt, shackled by the chains of loans and credit card bills. They're stuck in a vicious cycle, borrowing to pay off debts, only to plunge deeper into the abyss. Yet, amid all these struggles, their hard-earned taxes are funding the royals' luxury travel, 5-star hotels and banquets. It's a bitter pill to swallow, knowing that while they are scrimping and saving, their taxes are being used to fund a lifestyle they can only dream of. It's a system that privileges the few while the many suffer. The contrast between the opulence of the royals and the hardships faced by ordinary citizens couldn't be starker. And it begs the question, is it time to rethink how taxpayer money is used? But the unfairness doesn't stop there. Let's take a moment and consider Prince Harry, the son of King Charles, a veteran and a public figure constantly in the spotlight. When he requested protection from the royal family, his plea fell on deaf ears. Despite his willingness to shoulder the cost of his own security, his request was denied. Imagine that. One of the royal family's own, a man who has served his country, who faces potential threats due to his high-profile status, is denied the security he needs. Yet, when it comes to King Charles and Queen Camilla embarking on another luxurious state visit, the public is expected to loosen their purse strings without a second thought. The dichotomy here is as stark as it is troubling. This isn't just about a single trip or even about Prince Harry's security. This is about a system that appears to prioritise opulence and extravagance for a select few over the basic needs of its own family members, not to mention the everyday citizens who work tirelessly to keep the country running. So, we have to ask this question. Where are these double standards coming from? How is it that the same family that refuses to provide security to one of its own, regardless of his willingness to pay, can then turn around and ask the public to fund their lavish trips? It's a question that demands an answer. The royal family's double standards are not just a matter of principle. They reflect a deeper issue, a systemic imbalance that favours privilege and wealth over fairness and equality. Remember this, the money used to fund these royal trips comes from the pockets of ordinary people. People who are struggling to make ends meet, to put food on the table, to keep their homes warm, and yet they are expected to fund the luxury of the royal family without question. A public figure at risk is denied protection, yet the public is expected to fund royal luxury without question. This is the reality we are facing, and it's high time we started talking about it. So, is it time for a change? As we've seen, the cost of royal privilege is high, and it's being paid by ordinary citizens. It's you, me, our neighbours, our friends, our families. We're all contributing to the opulence of royal life through our taxes, while many of us struggle to make ends meet. And this raises some serious questions. Firstly, should we continue to fund these royal trips? The sovereign grant is not a small sum. It's a whopping £132 million, and it's on the rise. That's a significant chunk of change, and it's money that could be spent elsewhere. It could be used to fund hospitals, to invest in schools, to support families in need. It could be used to alleviate the financial hardships faced by so many people across the UK. Secondly, is it right that the royal family gets to enjoy these luxuries while ordinary citizens are struggling? There's a stark contrast between the five-star hotels, the lavish banquets, and the champagne toasts of royal trips, and the reality of life for many people in the UK. People who are working multiple jobs, skipping meals, and queuing at food banks. People who are barely keeping their heads above water. It's not just about the money either. It's about the principle. It's about fairness, about justice, about equality. It's about whether we as a society are okay with a system that allows a privileged few to live in luxury while the rest are left to struggle. So, let's think about this. Let's really consider what we're saying when we allow our taxes to be used in this way. Are we okay with our hard-earned money being used to fund royal privilege? Or do we believe it could be better spent elsewhere? This is not a call to arms, but a call to reflection. A call to consider our values, our priorities, our society. Should our hard-earned money go to champagne and red carpets or to hospitals, schools and families? It's a question we all need to ask ourselves, and it's a question that deserves an answer. Now, it's your turn to weigh in. We've shared the facts, the figures and the stories. We've examined the disparity between the privileged and the ordinary. We've questioned the fairness of a system that demands so much from its citizens, yet seems to give so much to its royals. But this conversation is far from over. In fact, it's just beginning. We invite your thoughts, your insights and your experiences. Do you believe it's time for a change? Do you think our hard-earned money should be spent on improving our communities, our public services, and our lives instead of funding royal extravagances? Or do you believe there's another side to this story? We're not just here to share our perspective. We're here to hear yours. Your voices matter. Your opinions count. And while it's easy to feel small in the face of such grandeur and power, remember this: change starts with a single voice. It starts with a single idea. It starts with a single person saying, enough is enough. So let's start a conversation. Let's question the status quo. Let's challenge the system, and let's do it together. Share your thoughts in the comments below. Do you think it's time to reassess the royal privilege? Do you believe the sovereign grant should be used for the betterment of the people rather than the luxury of the few? We want to hear from you. And while you're at it, don't forget to hit the like button. It helps us reach more people like you, passionate about social justice and eager to make a difference. Hit the subscribe button too, and turn on notifications to stay updated with our latest content. We've got more thought-provoking discussions, more eye-opening revelations, and more opportunities for you to join the conversation. Stay informed, stay bold. Thanks for watching.